What's going on, everyone? So, yesterday the Los Angeles Lakers pulled out a huge shock in getting Dalton Knecht. Now, he's a guy that on pretty much every board, every kind of mock draft, was anywhere from top 6 to at worst 11th. And he fell all the way to the 17th. Now, some may be asking, and I've already seen some people, like, why did he fall? Like, if he was this consensus top 10 pick, why did he end up dropping to 17? And again, if you look at how the draft kind of shaped up, you kind of got a good feel for what teams were looking for. A couple teams that were looking to move picks that ultimately didn't move picks and kept guys. Other teams that ended up, like Spurs, end up trading the 8th pick rather than drafting somebody, right? Like, there's things that went in line that kind of caused even guys that were expected to be later picks because of some various moves and stuff ended up getting bumped up, and it went as expected but not fully as expected. The biggest reason why I believe Knecht ended up going and dropping to the Lakers was just his age, right? If he was 20, he probably would have been a top 5 pick. But the fact that he was 23, right, that is a big factor, right? Because teams, again, if you're a young rebuilding team, you don't want to draft somebody that's 23 over somebody that's, 20, because that gives you essentially 3 extra years of development. That gives you basically 3 extra years of kind of growing and shaping and molding that player into the direction in which you want to get and create that player to be, right? So the Lakers just kind of by circumstances of the draft ended up lucking out on a guy that they shouldn't and had no business getting. The Lakers, in my opinion, and I know some people are going to be like, well, you're a Laker fan, of course that. I mean, even non-Laker fans, even like reporters that can't stand the Lakers are like, the Lakers got the steal of the draft. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the best player in this draft or anything like that. Again, he's 23, but given the draft position, given the type of talent that they got, and given the consensus of where he would land, yes, the Lakers got the steal of the draft. Because everyone else that was drafted essentially got drafted in the areas in which they were expected to get drafted. Maybe instead of like 12th, it was like 14th. But for the most part, they were in that category. Again, you're talking about a guy that was unanimously projected to be top 10, falling not just like to 11th or 12th, but all the way down to 17th. Now, he's a guy that beyond that, right? Again, great player, right? But what does he bring? One, he may end up being the best shooter in this draft. At worst, he's probably top 3 to 5, maybe even closer to number 2 in this draft as far as just like pure shooters go. Excellent shooter. He's one of the best ready to go impact guys in this draft. Not saying that, again, that he'll be necessarily the best, but he's a guy that is looked at as that can come in and immediately be a rotation piece, immediately be a high impact yield guy. This is a guy that has good athleticism, good ability to score the basketball. You can put the ball on the deck, right? Like, I even had some questions of like, hey, what's the difference between him and like a Swider or, a Svi or guys like that? Again, this is a guy that isn't just a shooter, right? So take like Cole Swider, for example, right? He was 6'9". He might as well have been 5'9", right? Yes, excellent shooter, but he didn't really give you anything else. Couldn't really put the ball on the deck. He was never really comfortable. He looked awkward at times, right? Where you get a guy in Knecht, he's a guy that can do multiple things. It's not just he can shoot the basketball, right? It's that he can shoot the basketball, also make plays for others and himself, has the explosiveness, can be a lob threat, can be a cutter, can kind of play off ball, but also be a guy that can handle a little bit. Like, it's the versatility on top of the ability to shoot the basketball. Talk about a guy that, was in one of the hardest divisions in college basketball, was the SEC player of the year. Guy gives you, 22 a game, shoots just a hair under 40% from the floor or from 3-point range, shoots 45%, almost 46% from the field total. And just to read off some some stats for you. So again, 6'5". He was listed as 212 pounds at the combine, 6'9" wingspan. Again, good size, good length, good versatility. He had a 10.56 lane agility, number 2 overall at the combine. So, again, Cole Schwider, very awkward, not fast, can't really move, guys like that, right? He had a 2.79 shuttle, number 1 overall at the combine, 39-inch vertical, shot 40% from distance on 6.5 attempts. So, again, it's a guy that has real athleticism, real foot speed, right? Real versatility. And he's serviceable defensive. He's not a lockdown defensive guy. He's not a guy that's going to, basically defend the best player on the other team or anything like that. But he is a guy that can be serviceable, which is all you're asking for, considering all that he can potentially provide. I'm not saying he's day one going to come out and be your starting small forward or shooting guard or anything like that, but he is a guy that immediately can be in the rotation, causes one less guy you now need to get, right? Because that's the thing. The Lakers need to get guys that can immediately make an impact, immediately make a punch. Also, Knecht is a guy that is known as a gym rat, known as a hard worker, known as a guy that he basically lives, eats, sleep, breathes the game of basketball and being on the court and wants to consistently improve and wants to be better, right? This is a guy that also gives us insurance for a potential trade, right? He even gives us Austin Reeves insurance if we are to end up trading Austin Reeves. I don't think that the Lakers are going to trade Austin Reeves, and I'll probably dive into this more in a later video once we get through the draft, this round 2 of the draft today. But it gives us insurance for some of the other guys. If we end up trading some guys, or if we end up trading a Jared Vanderbilt or something, obviously he does and isn't the defensive player that Jared Vanderbilt is, but he's a guy that can kind of slot and be a body in place if we are to use him to trade for something. I don't really want to trade Vando, but it's neither here nor there. Just kind of giving you an idea. It just gives the Lakers some flexibility. Now, personally, I think he's probably best at the 2, because I think that that's where he could kind of use his advantages to the best of the ability. He's more than capable of slotting and playing the 3. He's listed as a wing. And on some occasions, certain matchups, you could even probably slot him at the 4 if you needed to. But to me, I just think, with his 6'5", nearly 6'6", with a 6'9" wingspan, his shooting ability and his ability to blow by, and he has a really good first step, his ability to basically get by the defense, I just think would be very valuable at the 2 spot. The problem is you have Austin Reeves, who's probably your starting 2, and then Max Christie, who's probably going to be your bench 2. So you're probably looking at him as the 3. Problem is that then what do you do with Jared Vanderbilt? What do you do with Rui Hachimura? I believe Rui Hachimura should be the backup 4, right? Nothing against Rui. I love Rui. He's great. He's not a 3. It's not a coincidence that all of his big games this past season were all at the 4. He literally had a career game at the 4. His best position and natural position is at the 4. He doesn't have the lateral quickness and foot speed and the things necessary. Talked about that heavily all season. And guess what ended up happening when it mattered? He was non-existent. And that was a problem, right? So to me, it's also one of the reasons I kind of want to trade Rui. I love Rui. I want to keep Rui long term. But I just don't, I think as long as LeBron's on this roster, Rui's never going to have the real opportunity to play his natural position and be able to impact the game to the best of his ability, right? Because he averages like 3 to 4 more rebounds a game at the 4 than he does at 3. And, you've heard like even JJ talk about how he wants to shoot more threes and can help on the offensive glass and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, I think if you do keep these guys, you do keep everybody, I think Vando should be your starting 3. And then you have Rui as your backup 4. And then you have, you'd have Knecht be your backup 3. So now you have basically your Reeves, right? Christie. You have your Vando, your Knecht. You have your LeBron. You have your Rui. Right now, you're just looking for a Valanciunas. Can you get a Valanciunas to be Anthony Davis's primary backup? You still have Christian Wood. He can slot into the 4. He can slot into the 5. Even certain matchups, you could throw him out on the 3 in spots, right? So he kind of be your kind of like chameleon guy, right? And especially in games where, like, say LeBron does it, sits out, right? Well, Rui can start. Wood comes in and backs up, right? Or say, Anthony Davis misses a game, right? Valanciunas could start, Wood could back up, right? So I just think he now becomes kind of like the other guy for them on either forward or center position. And then now, like I said, you got that. You maybe give Maxwell Lewis a little opportunity as like your third wing off the bench. And then now you're just looking at your point guard position, which perfect world, you'd be able to get a DeJounte Murray, and then at that point, go take a flyer on like a Kevin Porter Jr. or bring in a Chris Paul off the bench or something, and now I think you're golden, right? Now you got like say DeJounte, Reeves, Vando, LeBron, and AD, and then whatever else. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Lakers got the steal of the draft in Knecht? Do you think no? Right? Like, he's a good player, but wait and see. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Either way, down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now, subscribe channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.